Hey all, and welcome to Shadow of Space, and we are commenting on another BCP video. This one is called Black Thug Facing Death Penalty Breaks Down in Tears as he finds out his fate after murder conviction. This was uploaded May 15th, this is being recorded May 16th, and links in the description.
A Tampa jury has found all four defendants guilty in the killing of Charles.
I forgot. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Oh, I also pulled something in my bag, so it might hurt sometimes.
Jones,
Don't worry about
the
it.
Jacksonville rapper known as Julio Fulio.
State of Florida versus Isaiah Jermaine Chance. We, the jury, finds as follows as to count one. Victim Charles Jones. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged. State of Florida versus Sean Andre Gathright. We, the jury, finds as follows as to count one. Victim Charles Jones. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged. State of Florida versus Rashad Trayvon Murphy. We, the jury, finds as follows as to count one. Victim Charles Jones. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged. And the State of Florida versus Davion Rashad Murphy. We, the jury, finds as follows as to count one. Victim Charles Jones. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged.
Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy were all found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy charges. The verdict came Friday after about 8 hours of deliberations. All four men are now set to return to court Monday for the penalty phase. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Follow for more trial coverage.
Boy. So we got to talk about a group of young scholars, astronauts, doctors, lawyers, AI researchers, nuclear scientists, engineers. Okay, we got to talk about the
All
best
around
that
good
our
people.
society has to offer, according to the woke revolutionaries, right? In this story, these individuals are facing life in prison without parole due to their role in the murder of rapper Julio Fulio. Now, back in June of 2024, while rapper Julio Fulio, real name Charles Andrew Jones II, was celebrating his birthday, he was shot and murdered by members of a rival gang in a hotel parking lot in Tampa, Florida. He was 26
Sounds about
years
right.
old. The suspects drove from Jacksonville, Florida, in what is being called a coordinated mission to kill the rapper after the rapper posted flyers to Instagram promoting his birthday party, right? So he basically posted flyers on Instagram telling the world that, hey, I'm going to be in Tampa. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday. And that is how these individuals tracked down the rapper and then eventually killed him, okay? Now, these individuals, by the name of Sean Gathright, Isaiah Chance, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy. There's also another one, a woman named Alicia Andrews. All of them, for the most part, except a woman, were found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. Okay, and the young woman here was found guilty of a lesser charge of manslaughter. So I want to react to some of these thugs finding out their fate, right? Because one of them is going to break down in tears after learning that not only is he going to be spending life in prison without parole, but they're also going to make him do forced labor as well too. And that's if they don't get the death penalty, which apparently is on the table. What we reacted to here is the court going over the options of what could happen, okay, since these individuals have now been convicted. So we're going to see exactly what they get in regards to a sentence. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
That's Mr. Murphy. When he was arrested, you will see tattoos. You see many on his neck and chest. He has a 1200 tattoo on the back of his neck. He has the name of people from 1200 who have been murdered tattooed on his body.
Wow.
And in this video, you will clearly see in the evidence Mr. Davion Murphy taking full credit for his role in this shooting.
Wow. Wow. This can't be rehabbed. You can't rehab this. You can't turn these individuals around.
I mean, what do you do? The question always is, what do you do with this? At what point At what point could or should you have done something to intervene here?
You cannot change them. You cannot make them better people. You have to lock them up, throw away the key. If capital punishment is available, if that is appropriate, right, then that's also on the table as well too. That's probably the most efficient way to deal with these types of individuals. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one of these people who wants to spend tax dollars trying to make this guy a better person, right? I don't want to do that. I think that's a waste of money. They cannot be helped. They have to be locked up, throw away the key, get rid of
We'll
them.
see. But you spend tax money to house them, to feed them. You give them work, which other people could be getting a paycheck doing. Like, you're still paying for it. It doesn't matter
Society, right?
whether you pay to rehabilitate them or you pay to put them in a box. You're still paying to do something with them. Like they said that they were doing the death penalty. That would probably be the most cost-efficient way in that you pay to do it once and it's over. You don't have to keep doing it next year and the year after that and the year after that. It's just over. But then you have to admit that you're perfectly fine saying that there are some people who cannot be helped, who are too far gone, who should just be killed.
When you get arrested, and the first thing that you do after being arrested is this right here, right? What he's doing in this video, it just shows that you can't be helped, and it's a waste of time trying to help people like that. Just lock them up. That's it.
That is just after his arrest, when he is left alone in an interview room.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes. With my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator, he's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put him out there to work because we do have an aging prison
Sweat
population, jail
equity.
administration. We have that, so we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them.
We do have some phrases in these modern times,
They
don't we?
are young and actually can do the work.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. We should bring back forced labor in this country. I don't understand why we need illegals when we got criminals. We got thugs. We
Well,
got gangs.
isn't your argument that people should be doing these jobs for a paycheck? How do people take those jobs when you outsource it to prisoners? Like, at that point, you're just giving it... You're putting the illegals and the prisoners in the prison, and then you're giving them the jobs. You're just giving them the jobs, just with significantly reduced pay now. I don't think that's solving the
Gangbangers in
problem.
prison.
I think that's just taking the problem and continuing to do it in a really roundabout way.
They need to be working. Forced labor. They should be on a farm. Picking
They are.
cotton, right? Picking our crops, doing all the stuff that they claim that illegals need to do. These individuals, these thugs and these gangbangers, they should be doing that, right? So, yeah, I'm totally for it, right? I'm totally down with it. Okay, at least we can get something useful out of the guy, right? And I know some people be boohoo whining and crying, oh, you can't do that. That's inhumane. That's slavery.
I would never tell you that you can't do something. Everything is within the realm of possibility. You can do what these 4 people do, track this person down, and go kill him.
I don't care what you call it, right?
I mean, there's just as good a possibility that they didn't get caught and they could have gotten away with it. People do.
You can
Sometimes.
call it slavery, you can call it forced labor. I don't care what you call it. At the end of the day, it needs to be done, right? You owe society. You have a debt, and it has to be repaid back. In this case, they can never repay it back because you took somebody's life, okay? You took somebody's life. So, yeah, forced labor for the rest of their life. And, yeah, I think that that's appropriate, right?
What about the gangs that they're affiliated with? Or they're members of? I don't... Like, it doesn't stop It doesn't stop other members of the gang who aren't arrested from going out and killing more people. I guess I don't know what it does. I don't know
At
what it
least again, we're
does.
getting something useful out of them.
And then we talk about life without parole and death row, but for our jurors' education, in Florida, what does a life sentence without parole mean?
A life sentence in the Florida Department of Corrections means from the minute they're brought in, they're assigned an inmate number. He will be assigned an inmate number, and when he dies and leaves in a body bag, he will still have that inmate number. An inmate serving life will never, ever get out. There is no parole in the state of Florida.
Nice.
And they're not ever allowed outside the razor wire. And
Well, unless he, somehow escapes for some reason or whatever,
of a secure facility.
Awesome.
So the only way that an inmate serving life without parole would leave is when they die by natural causes.
Ms. Gathright, you have characterized your and your brother Sean's childhood as a good, nice, loving childhood growing up. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that both of you had wonderful, loving, supportive relationships. Isn't that true, ma'am? And specifically when talking about male role models, you said that he had a wonderful relationship with his stepdad, Brian.
Yes.
He also had a wonderful godfather. His grandmother, Lisa Gathright, you both had wonderful relationships with her as well.
Yes.
See, so again, just what happened? That's really the question that you have to ask. Because his story is not uncommon. Other people are like him right now. How do people get to this point? Supposedly there were all these people and they loved him and they cared for him, and yet somehow this.
And her husband, before he passed away, your grandfather, both you and your brother Sean had an amazing, loving, supportive relationship with him as well. When you all were living in Japan, you said that Sean had a lot of activities. He was very good in karate. Isn't that true?
Yes.
So good, in fact, that he got a blue belt in karate.
Yes.
So he was able to participate in a lot of activities. Isn't that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Very supportive family, both your mother as well as his grandparents.
Yes, ma'am.
Made sure that he was active and had lots of activities, including sports,
Yes.
traveling.
Yes.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Wow. Yeah, I don't want to see the tears, right? I personally do not care about the tears. He had a whole lot of time to change his mind, right? To understand the potential consequences of his
Again, what happened? He seemed to be on the straight and narrow. He seemed to have everything going, and then somehow it wasn't.
You talking about driving all the way from Jacksonville to Tampa? You had a long car ride to, say, hey, you know what? I'm good on this. This is not a good idea. Let me go back to my
How do you even get involved in a gang? How does this happen? Like,
house, right? And not get involved in it.
How do you fall into the trap in the first place? The idea is prevention. The idea is figuring out where this person went wrong in the pattern, in the cycle, so that other people who are stuck in the same patterns, in the same cycle that he is, can get out of it. That is prevention. Just putting him in prison and treating him like he's an animal doesn't do anything.
Okay? But it sounds to me like he's one of these individuals that got caught up in the gang life. And as a result, this is the consequence.
How?
It is what it is. It is what it's hard for me to feel bad for a guy, for individuals who had plenty of time to think through what they were about to do, to change course and to not do it. But they did it anyways. And then they're crying in court because he just found out, well, I'm going to be facing life in prison without parole. I'm never going to see the outside of the prison again, right? Outside of forced labor, whatever they got him doing, right? Outside of that, you don't get access to the life that you got before. You don't get to see the world. You don't get to get married. I don't know if they got kids or what, but you can't do that. You know, there's pussy in prison, right? There's other men, ain't no women. So who knows?
Yeah,
You can still
I
get some
mean,
action,
I
you can
guess.
still get your rocks off, but it ain't gonna be of the straight kind, right? It ain't gonna be a kind that this individual may like. Okay, I mean, you
Well,
know, just looking at
I
them.
don't know. I mean, you can always identify as a woman and see if you get transferred into women's prison, I guess, now.
I don't
Get
know,
some,
right? I
prison
don't know
babies.
if he gonna make it in prison. I'm not sure, you know, how the guys there are gonna treat him. But anyways, regardless, it is what it is. This is what they signed up for. They had plenty of time to think through it, to turn around and say, I don't want to do this, right? All this was premeditated. That's why their sentencing and their punishment is going to be harsh, because they had so much time to just not do it, to understand that this was bad. But like I said, a lot of these individuals cannot be rehabbed, right? They can't be rehabbed. They can't be changed. This is who they are, right? And there's some individuals.
No, it's not. That one guy. I mean, granted, that was one story of one of them. They didn't really talk about the families and the lives of the other ones. That one guy sounded like everything was going well, and then all of a sudden just a switch flipped. And all of a sudden, those things weren't good enough. He needed more, or something.
Maybe like this guy right here, who may not necessarily be a bad person, got caught up, you know, with the wrong people, but decided to participate anyways, and this is the result. It is what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I mean, it really is holding on to. I guess at that point, it really is holding on to what you consider yourself to be. If you don't, then what that will be influenced by other people. He seemed to like the karate. He gets with these people. They say, psh, karate's dumb. Let's go do something else. What do you choose? Do you go with them for the thrill? Or do you continue to do what you do because you like it? So I guess this is really a lesson in cheating and why you shouldn't do it and why you should really stick with the stable thing. But at the same time, we live in a day and age where people don't want safe. They don't want stability. I don't know. Like all I see is all I see is peak culture. That's what you do, right? You get in a gang, you defend your territory. Like, that's the game, right? I don't know. Oh boy. I see peak culture. I see I see white people defending their what do I want to say? Defending white supremacy, locking up a whole bunch of colored people. Um I mean, like, just trying to think of like the leftist arguments. Like, b- b- because you can't just dismiss it. You can't just say, well, they're failed. Because then why? Again, why put them in prison? What does that do? Having them sit around all day. I mean, right, no chance of parole. They're never getting out of prison. So until they die, they're going to be fed, they're going to be housed, there's going to be energy used for the plumbing and for the electricity. They're going to work jobs for very little money. That could be going to other people so that they can make a living wage, but it isn't. I don't see how this is a net benefit and the system, and I also don't see how this is in any way helping to prevent incidences like this in the future. It doesn't do anything. Unless you get at the cause of why these people, because this is just the first person they murdered. Who knows what other things they may have done as a gang that may or may not have been illegal, that just never got tried, never faced any sort of accountability for. Maybe just like small things, I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. I guess if they have a record, you'd have to go to the Florida state and look it up, but because you're not wrong. There does eventually get to the point where, like, it becomes, the deeper in they go, the harder it gets to pull them out of it. So the idea is that you have to get them early enough before they fall too deep so that you can prevent them from going down that path. Oh, there was a movie. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's basically this, where like there was a guy and he was like in a gang, but he didn't really want to be in a gang, and that's basically the end of the movie. Is they go to pick him up so that they can go kill some rival people in a rival gang or whatever, and he doesn't go. He goes and then he like chickens out. Um I can't even remember what happens. If they all died, or they all got arrested or something, except him. I can't even remember what it was called. Anyways, just, it's a choice. So, how do we make it so that people don't see, because you also have freedom. If you have freedom, then that means that you have the ability to choose the wrong thing. That means that you have the ability to choose to make the wrong decision. You also have the ability to choose to make the right decision. Is choosing to make the wrong decision as a truly a valid option? Do you really want freedom, or do you want people to act appropriately? These two things are not the same. Freedom is the ability to do inappropriate things. Like, Charlie Kirk's death is celebrated, but the death of this person, or the death of the person that these people killed, is not. Why? Or, when Ice killed the one guy who had the gun on him, that was inappropriate. But a guy with a bunch of guns on him going into a school and killing people, when the police come and they kill him, That's acceptable. That's fine. That's okay. Why? Killing one is okay, but killing the other isn't. It's arbitrary. Well, you justify it. Well, this one deserved to die. He was going to hurt other people. So, you still killed him. De-escalation goes out the window. Trying any other method other than just shooting him dead didn't happen. Why? Why are you okay with that? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be okay with it. I'm simply asking the question. You cannot be okay with it. It's not up to me to tell you how to feel. So I guess those are my closing thoughts, is that this doesn't do anything. There are going to be people just like these 4 people who are going to go around and they're going to kill more people because it doesn't get at the underlying cause of why people kill other people in the first place. Until you solve that, you aren't going to get rid of crime. And so if that's unsolvable, then you're never going to get rid of it. So it isn't actually getting rid of it, it's figuring out what to do about it. What do you do with deviants? What do you do with people who cannot or do not mesh into society with other people?